Okay folks, what we have right here is an FEI Phillips FEG electron column, and on top of that you can see the big gun cap. And we were just refilling this gun cap with SF6 and discovered we had a severe leak. So I'm going to replace this gun cap with a gun cap that doesn't require SF6, and I'll show you the procedure for doing so. First we do the removal of the little mounting bolts. There are 6 of the little hex head mounting bolts. You'll need a 7mm open end wrench to get those little bolts out of there. And then on the other end of the cable, follow the cable around and you get down here to the GSU, and we'll remove this little interlock bracket. And I loosened the screws so I could get them off by hand. And you pull the little plate away, and now we can undo this ring. And pull out, it becomes free. And then the other little connector over here with the green cap. Let's undo that and pull it away. And just connect the ground lead. And when all of this is removed, we can pull the cable free. So we pull out this end of the cable and pull out this little cable. And now we can lift off. Oh, one more thing I didn't mention. We have to disconnect the gun cap interlock cable, which is right here, and it takes a flat screwdriver, and we're going to remove this cable and we're going to keep it, and we've got to install some little blade, anyway, some little spade connectors to it for connecting to our new gun cap. Okay, so that is free, and now I can lift the gun cap off of the column. Hooray! And we'll bring it over here and compare it to the other gun cap. This is our new gun cap. Here is the old gun cap. This is the new one. You can see it has a special little rubber interior, and this one, which is the one we just pulled off, is open on the inside, and that's the cavity that gets filled with the SF6. And this is also the little pressure interlock assembly, which is no longer necessary on the new gun cap. And this is a little switch that replaces the pressure interlock, and we're going to make some little connectors that fit on here with that old cable. So let's take this new gun cap and let's install it on the column here. And let me set down my phone here, and now I can get this lined up. And I'm sorry about the poor audio with this video, but this was kind of spontaneous and unrehearsed. And anyway, I'm lining up the pins with the cap. I'm looking at the bolt holes and just making sure they align. And it takes a little bit of finagling to get this. There, look at that. That's good. Now I'm going to find the other end of the cable and Okay, it connected to the FGSU. Okay, so you can see all I got to do is put the mounting bolts in there and that'll be good. Now let's route the other end of the cable. Let me move to the other end of the system here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we'll just route this cable down through here the way it was before. And make sure this big thick cable doesn't damage anything. Alright, now before we poke it into the receptacle, we want to examine the end of the cable and make sure the pins aren't damaged. And we need to smear some dielectric grease on there as well. So let's get some of this nice dielectric grease. This stuff. Get yourself a tube of this silicone paste and we'll smear some right here around the pins real thick, about a 1/4 inch of it on there. Get it on real thick. The purpose of this is to displace air. We don't want to have air around these pins. There's 30 kV between these pins and ground, so we don't want to have any path for ionization here. So there we go. And when we push it into the receptacle, it'll ooze up around the edges and keep the air out. So there we go. Now we'll poke it down into the receptacle. There's a little notch that has to line up. There we go. Got the notch. Twist it until you feel that notch line up. Okay. Pop. And then you tighten up the ring. Get it nice and tight. And jiggle this around to make sure it's seated in there well. Okay. And now we have the other cable. And we'll route it on the same path. This cable I'm talking about. We'll route it the same way. And bring it down. It doesn't need any silicone paste on it. And we'll put it down into the receptacle here. A little socket. Of course, we want to keep everything clean. You want to keep dust and fibers off of this. I got the little retaining ring tight. I got the little interlock bracket in place, and I reconnected the ground screw. And then on the other end, with the cap, we have the 6 mounting bolts secured and tightened, and I reconnected the ground lead. And the last thing is this little interlock connection. And I put some nice new little spade connectors on here, and we just hook those babies up to the top 2 little spades here. And this baby should be good to go. So, if you need any help finding a replacement gun cap or need any more information about SF6 gun caps, feel free to leave me a message. All right, thanks a lot.